pretty tough team over the weekend.
That's right, Rachel. They were actually facing the top team in the conference, and we'll get into the details about the game right now.
All right.
The Trojan men's basketball team, fresh from their victory over South Alabama that pulled them out of last place, faced the top team in the conference on Saturday. And as Taylor Burke shows us, with only a few games remaining, the Trojans still have some fight left in them.
The Denver Pioneers traveled nearly 1,500 miles to Troy, Alabama for a Sun Belt Conference matchup with the Trojans. It was a tightly contested game throughout the first half. However, once the second half began, it was a whole new ball game, and the Trojans outscored the Pioneers 37-28 in the second half and sent Denver away with a 64-55 Trojan victory.
This team tonight executed a game plan that the way we think you have to play to have a chance to succeed against Denver, better than any team at Troy has ever done against Denver.
It's a huge one, just like every other one. It just keep our confidence going, because we work so hard, and when we lose them heartbreaking games and all them other games, it's tough. But when we get the wins, it feels like all our hard work, then it wasn't for nothing.
Sophomore guard Will Weathers led the charge all night long for Troy with his 5th double-double of the season.
I don't know what it was. I just felt good. I had a pretty good week of practice, and coach told us to drive, and I love to drive, so I just played to my advantage. And my family was watching this game, and my son was too for the first time in a while. So I wanted to put on a show for him.
Defense played a huge role in the Trojans' victory as Troy held Denver under their season average of 62 points a game.
After we hit some big shots and we stop them on defense, we don't give them second chance shots. We can get ourselves going.
They're one of the top, maybe the top three-point shooting team in the nation. I think they shoot 47 or 48% as a team. They're not the best in the conference. I'm talking about the nation. So, you're in the zone and you're petrified of that three. We did a great job of matching up and not getting ourselves out of position where a guy would just be wide open.
The Pioneers had taken first place in the Sun Belt standings on Thursday, but it will be short-lived thanks to the Trojan win. Taylor Burke, Troy Trojan Vision Sports.
Vernon Taylor kept a streak alive on Saturday as he went 6 for 6 on free throw attempts. He has currently sunk 30 consecutive free throws. Up next, the Trojans take on Middle Tennessee Thursday night at 7 in Sartain Hall. The women were not as lucky as the men, falling to the Pioneers Saturday afternoon in Sartain. A trio of double-digit performances led Denver to a 66-43 defeat of the Trojans. However, Troy only had one player to reach double digits. Angela Sword scored 15 points in the game. However, one highlight was Donette McNair's 8 points moved her up a spot on the all-time scorers list for Troy to 8th place. Coach Mike Murphy says the Pioneers' desire to win pushed them over the top.
Successful teams make breaks for themselves. The harder I work, the luckier I get. I really think in the second half, their two seniors and Murdoch, who's probably going to be first team all conference, our leading scorer, really took over. They really, imposed their will upon us, so to speak, on both ends, because most of those kids came up with the loose balls, they came up with the rebounds, and they came up with the points.
Up next, Troy takes on Middle Tennessee on Thursday night as part of a doubleheader with the men. Tip-off is scheduled for 5:15. The Trojan women's tennis team made their home debut over the weekend, but apparently home wasn't so sweet for Troy. The women dropped their home opener against Stetson Friday afternoon 6-1. Friday was the first of 2 games to open the home schedule for the Trojans this season, and the Trojans faced a similar fate in their second match at home, falling to Charleston Southern 4-3 on Saturday. The men had a tough weekend as well, dropping a pair of matches 7-0 to both 38th ranked Miami and 10th ranked Texas A&M. And the Trojan softball team opened their season against a number of in-state foes over the weekend at the Easton Hibbett All-Alabama Classic in Birmingham. Troy won their first game of this season against Alabama State University 9-1. Haley Hutchins picked up the win on the mound for the Trojans. Troy picked up 2 more wins against Alabama A&M and UAB. Their first loss of the season came from Auburn, and the Trojans fell in the final game of the tournament to the 3rd-ranked University of Alabama. Troy fell 9-1 to the Tide to wrap up the tournament. Hutchins, who won the first game on the mound for Troy, picked up the loss. The Trojans return home for the Quality Inn Classic starting Friday here in Troy. So, Jasmine, Rachel, as you can see, we don't really have many Trojan sports in action at the beginning of the week, but as the week progresses, we've got both basketball teams will be playing Thursday and then softball here at home.
Right, definitely a lot to look forward to, and hopefully the men will do as well as they did this weekend.
That's
great
right.
news, and especially for Vernon Taylor. That's a big accomplishment.
That's right, great news.
That's right. Thank you, Danielle.